2025 was the only paper in which there was no single mistake. But here, UPSC have made a mistake in question number 54, framed in a manner that the airlines are strictly liable to pay in all the cases. Then we can say that no, after 1,50,000 SDRs, you will have to prove the same. Hi students, I know most of you are very disappointed right now. Personally, I am too. It's like all these years, UPSC has been bowling like a medium pace bowler, and suddenly it decided to bowl like a Shoaib Akhtar, and that has completely gotten all of us off guard because we were not used to playing against a fast bowler. But we have to move on, right? Because there are hardly 85 days left for the mains, and you should not be waiting for the UPSC answer key, in my opinion. Don't waste a single day. Go and check your answers with any of the institute and do start your preparation. Now, when you actually look into the same, you will understand that there is a significant amount of variation between the different institute answer key. Now, why do that happen? It happens because of the controversial questions. Now, that is why this video is going to be very important. In this video, we are going to analyze the 7 controversial questions in 2026, and we are going to be providing the correct answer to all of the same. Now, as you can see here, this is the official Civilsdaily answer key portal. All of you can check your answer regarding the same. In this portal, you can check your answer and you will get the different institute answer key as well. Say supposedly PWIS, Forum, Next IS Vision and everything. So do check out the same. We'll be providing you the link in the description below. Now, also for the 2025 paper, we have come up with our own controversial video, and out of the 8 controversial questions, 7 of our answers were correct apart from the SPADEX or the axiom question. Also, last year, we predicted a cutoff of close to 85 plus or minus 2, and the UPSC official cutoff was close to 92, which was the closest cutoff that any institute in India has ever predicted. So let me tell you once again, even though we respect your emotions, even though we understand your grief, we like to be very objective when we release the answer key, and therefore, do watch till the end of the video, wherein I'll be explaining what our cutoff will be on the basis of multiple factors. Now going on to the controversial question here. As you can see here, 2025 was the only paper in which there was no single mistake. But here, UPSC have made a mistake in question number 54 because the question here asks about which of the following international convention has not been ratified by India. You know that abolition for the forced labor convention is one of ILO's 8 conventions that India have already ratified. So therefore here, not ratified by India. So therefore here, 2 won't be there, right? Because 2 is something that India have already ratified. Now we are only left with 3 and 4 and 3, 4, 5. Now what about the 4th option? Geneva Convention relative to the protection of civilian persons in the time of war. This is also one convention that we have already ratified. As you can see here, ratified conventions by India. 4th Geneva Convention relative to the protection of civilian persons in the time of war. I have also provided the link here. Also in another website, in the official Geneva website, you can see here, Convention related to the protection of persons in Geneva. As you can see here, the countries here, India have basically signed the same in 1949 and India have ratified the same in 1950 as well. So India have ratified the both 2 and 4 here, and there is no option in which 2 and 4 is not there. So therefore, the correct answer should have been 3 and 5, but the answer is not there. So therefore, this is an incorrect option provided by UPSC and this is an incorrect question, right? Now moving on to the second controversial question here. This is very important here. Now moving on to the second controversial question. Here you can see here, under the Montreal Convention adopted in 1999 by over 130 countries including India, airlines are strictly liable to pay compensation to the family of every deceased passenger without requiring the family to prove fault. Now let me tell you, there are 2 classifications regarding the same. In case of the first one, there is a strict liability up to a certain limit. And after that, there is another different criteria. Now, what is the first criteria here? As you can see here, airlines are automatically liable for approximately 1,50,000 SDRs as a form of international currency used by the International Monetary Fund for injury and death without needing to prove the fault. So, if a person dies and you are claiming an amount of 1,50,000 SDRs, there is no need for you to prove the fault. But if you are claiming more than 1,50,000, then what happens? Then the airline can avoid a higher liability by proving that it was not the negligence or the injury was caused solely by a third party. So what do you understand? There are 2 classifications here. In the first classification, the family or anyone does not have to prove anything. And the airline is responsible and has to provide an SDR of close to $1,50,000. And that is a strict liability up to a certain limit. But if you are claiming more than the amount, then what you have to do? You have to prove that you are worth for the rest of the amount. Now, what does the question here say? The question here says, the airlines are strictly liable to pay the compensation to the family for every deceased passenger without requiring the family to prove fault. Now, this is correct here, right? Should they have to prove for the same? No, because there is a strict liability that up to 1,50,000 SDRs, you don't have to prove anything. Now, if the question was framed in a manner that the airlines are strictly liable to pay in all the cases, then we can say that no, after 1,50,000 SDRs, you will have to prove the same. But till 1,50,000, do you have to prove anything? Definitely no. So in my opinion, the second option here should be treated as more of a general statement here, because it does not use the word in all cases. Now, usually when you say that, it's actually you don't have to prove the same. Up to 1,50,000, there is a strict liability. Okay. So therefore, in this question, since the word in all cases is not used, you can take 2 as the answer here, and therefore here 1 and 2 will be the answer. Right? Now, what about this one, the third question? Now, third question, I wouldn't say it's not very controversial or something. It depends upon how UPSC interpret the same. Now, we have two different views of X here. In the first statement, it says, X was addressing a seminar on the meaning of the term law as provided under Article 13, part of the Constitution of India. X explained that the meaning of the term law in the Constitution of India was very comprehensive. It included the ordinance, orders, even rules of the regulations. Y pointed that law also included custom or usage having the territory of India in the force of law, to which X was not confused. So what is the actual opinion of X? Is the actual opinion of X only up to this much, till the rules and regulations, or the opinion of X also includes that it does not include the custom or usage? Now, I guess that's the difference why most of the academies actually went with a different answer. But in our opinion, the opinion of X is that obviously it contains the rules, regulations, ordinance and orders, and it does not contain the customs or the usage. So that's the opinion of X. It does contain rules, opinions, ordinances, and does not contain customs or usage. So what is the answer here? X is correct in the interpretation of law, including the view of non-inclusion? No. According to Article 13, customs and usage does also come under law. The view of Y is that law included only custom. Is it not incorrect? That's definitely incorrect. The views of both X and Y are correct. If only the first part is taken as a view of X, then it is correct. But when the second part of the view, in which X says custom and usage does not come under the definition of Article 13, then that should be taken as incorrect, right? So therefore, C will not be the answer, and therefore here the view of only Y is correct will be the answer, because here the view of X means both the first part and also the second part here. That's why here D will be the answer, right everyone? Now, what about the question number 43? This is also an interpretation based question. Mostly it's an ethical based question, so we are never sure on what the answer will be. We'll have to wait for the UPSC official answer key to get the answer. But Firbi, in our opinion, it says that what should Mr. X do? Now in the passage, it talks about the head of department, Mr. Y, advises her not to disclose the information to the project committee or the public because it could delay the project and damage the city's reputation. Mr. X believed that withholding such information compromises transparency and trust. So Mr. X is a honest person here who wants to disclose it to the public, but there are certain ethical standards, right? You cannot bypass your superior. You cannot bypass everything, right? So there are certain ethical standards involved here. Now the first one says, immediately disclose the information to the project committees and the public. Now this cannot be done because then it will go against the head of the department, right? Because the head of the department has said that not to disclose this information to the project committee or to the public. So if you disclose the same, you will be directly going against your superior, which I don't think that person will do. Now the second option here says, recommend removing the contractor from the shortlist to protect the project's integrity. Now that is actually a possibility, right? If you know that a person is corrupt, now what do? You recommend to your superior that we should change the person. Now, does it go against your ethical values? Definitely no. Is it actually protecting your ethical values? Yes. So therefore here, we are just recommending. We are not forcing our superior, we are not threatening her and saying that if you don't remove the contractor, then I will go to the public. Aisa kuch nahi kar rahe hum. We are just recommending the same. That's likely an option that he or she should take, right? Because the contractor is a corrupt person. So therefore 2 is a possibility here. And the third one, propose a limited disclosure to the oversight committee while keeping the information confidential from the public. Now this is also a possibility, right? Now, one thing you must understand is, even though the oversight committee is not mentioned here, what is usually happen? The oversight committee will be superior to the head of the department, right? So if the head of the department is not listening to us, then what do? We actually overcome her and then report the same to the oversight committee. Now that's actually a possibility, right? If you know that the head of the department is actually going against your advice or will not listen to your advice, what do? You report to the same to her superior, right? So that's also one of the things that you can do, right? So here, even though the oversight committee is not part of the mentioned passage, oversight committee would be the head of the department, therefore reporting to them is also the best option. So in our opinion here, 3 should obviously be there because 1 is incorrect and 2 is also a possibility because we are just recommending and we are not forcing or threatening her, right? So therefore here 2 and 3 will be the answer here, right? Now what about question number 5 here? Mission Sudarshan Chakra of India. Now the doubt that you will have is, one of the aims of this mission is to cover all public places of India by the expanded nationwide security shield by 2035. Now the doubt here is, will all the public places of India will be covered? Whether my district Kannur will be covered, whether Nagaland or Mizoram will be covered, whether Jammu and Kashmir or my village or my street will be covered. That is a question that you might be thinking, right? So can you say that all the public places in Telangana, Choti Si Gram, a Choti Si village, a public well will be covered? Now, what do you understand by the word all public places is the question here. Now, first of all, you can see here that achieving nationwide coverage by 2035 is the objective of the same. Now, what do you mean by nationwide coverage? Does it only mean that South India will be covered, North India will be covered, East India will be covered and Northeast India will be covered? Or nationwide coverage means, okay fine, it will have a whole nationwide coverage. So, and therefore, all the public places will be covered. What do you mean by that? It will have a nationwide coverage. It means that it will cover the whole nation. Now, when it covers the whole nation, all the public places in it will be covered, right? So that's why, in our opinion, since achieving nationwide coverage by 2035 is the aim of this same, all public places can be taken as nationwide coverage, and therefore here 1, 2 and 3 will be the answer here, and therefore here A will be the answers, because all public places, what does it mean? All public places means that even though it feels a bit extreme, all the public places means nationwide coverage only, right? So therefore here 1, 2, 3 will be the answer. Okay. Now moving on to question number 6, one of the small doubt that some of the aspirant raise is regarding the third option here. The place value has been found in Sanskrit inscriptions in Southeast Asia. Now what do you think? Does UPSC wanted to know all this? Whether it is in Sanskrit inscription or whether is it in Khmer inscription or something. Now one of the doubt that some of the students actually placed is, so it's actually saying that it's not Sanskrit inscription and it's related to Khmer inscription. Now does UPSC wanted to know all this? Whether it is Khmer inscription or is it Sanskrit inscription? Now I'm saying that this is correct here. But when you actually look into other sources, let's say for example Wikipedia, the Cambodia tourism website and all the other different websites here, it says that inscriptions in Sanskrit is also there. And according to Chinese records and stone inscriptions, in both Sanskrit and Khmer languages, the Sambor Perquik was built by some king who reigned over the early 18th century. And this is in this particular Sambor Perquik inscription that we are able to find the place value system. So therefore, even though one of the sources says that it related to Khmer inscription, all the other sources says that it's actually directly related to both Sanskrit and Khmer inscription. And therefore here, 1, 2, 3 will be the answer here. Okay. And one of the doubt will be, so in the 9th century, place value have become general in inscription all over India. Now that is correct, okay. Even though you feel that all over India, matlab South India bhi chahiye, North India bhi chahiye, Northeast India bhi chahiye, ye pure India pe hai na, we have started introducing place value system such as 941, 835. A digit system was there or place value system was there. Okay. So therefore here, all over India should not be taken as wo Kerala pe nahi hai, Tamil Nadu pe nahi hai. It's like, okay fine, South India pe hai, West India pe hai, Northeast India pe hai. Aise, you should be taking it as something very general, okay. So therefore here, 1, 2, 3 will be the answer here. Now moving on to the last question here. You must have seen different videos and some of the videos actually says that Buddha's Mahaparinibbana is the answer. But according to us, this is a direct statement from the NCERT. So the answer will be the meditation of the Buddha, because as you can see here, in the 12th standard NCERT, the themes of Indian history part 1, thinkers, beliefs and buildings, it's directly given that the empty seat, figure 4.14, was meant to indicate the meditation of the Buddha. So empty seat and meditation of the Buddha is also there. So what does the meditation of the Buddha mean? The meditation of the Buddha is basically the empty seat. Now what about this one? Stupa was meant to represent the Mahaparinibbana. So it's basically the stupa which represents the Mahaparinibbana, and the empty seat basically represent the meditation of the Buddha. Now these are the 7 controversial questions, and we believe that all the information provided by us will be the right answer when the official answer key comes. Now, coming to the question that all of you must be waiting for. So what will be the cutoff of this year? Let me tell you, the GS was hard. Especially the international relation questions was very hard. Science and technology questions regarding the defense, military, peacekeeping missions was very hard. Art and culture history questions, close to 15 questions came. Some of them were very, very hard. Political questions were very less. Economy was very less, so it's going to significantly impact the cutoff. Also, regarding the CSAT as well, CSAT was not something very easy. Okay. It was less harder than 2023 in my opinion, but more harder than 2025. So therefore, the cutoff will also reduce with respect to CSAT as well. So after carefully analyzing all these different factors, all the logical elimination tricks that come to play, because I know that what you're going to do, and most of you would have done the same. There was no patterns involved in the same. So last year, the patterns out of the 6 questions, 4 pair, 4 to 2, 5 by 3, 6 by 4, and everything worked. So that's why the cutoff increased last year, but this time the pattern was not there. So with respect to all these things, and also regarding the extreme heat that you must be facing in the exam hall, regarding the lengthiness of the paper was close to 56 pages. Last time there were only 48 pages. And the surprise value of the same, we are going with a cutoff of 81 plus or minus 2. So at least 10 mark difference will be there when compared to last year. And it can go till 78 or 79 in our opinion. Usually it will be 79 or 80 in my opinion. Okay. So if you're someone who's scoring above 78, then definitely you should be starting your preparation. And if you're scoring above 76 or 78 as well, you should be definitely starting your mains preparation as well. And as all of you know, we have the Smash Conclave starting from May 27, that is today. So do join the same and start your mains preparation if you are somewhere scoring in this range.